Hello, beautiful Thrivve community. Today's episode feels different. It feels sacred. Recently, I visited Ubuhle Christian School in Bronkhorstspruit. I need to tell you what I saw. I saw rows of small plastic chairs filled with children in navy uniform sitting under a simple covered area, listening attentively. I saw chessboards lined up, serious little faces, concentrators like champions. I saw medals around their necks, certificates held with pride. I saw something else: dignity, hope, purpose. Ubuhle doesn't just educate children, it restores futures. The name Ubuhle means beauty, not surface beauty, not Instagram beauty, but the kind of beauty that grows quietly from faith and courage. Ubuhle is an independent Christian school serving families who would otherwise not have access to quality education. And when you walk into the property, you immediately feel something: order, structure, intentional love. It's not flashy, it's faithful. What moved me the most was the seriousness of the learning. These children are not being pitied. They are being prepared. They compete in chess, they excel academically, they participate in sport like gymnastics, they receive recognition. Education is not charity here. It's empowerment, and that is what matters. Because charity that removes dignity does harm, but education that restores dignity builds leaders. Now let me tell you about something that absolutely stole my heart: the vegetable gardens. Rows of spinach, tomatoes growing strong, onions hanging to dry, irrigation lines carefully placed. This is not symbolic gardening. This feeds children. It reduces cost. It teaches responsibility. It creates sustainability. There is something profoundly beautiful about a school that grows its own food. It says, we are not waiting to be rescued. We are building. Then I saw something extraordinary. A group of cyclists gather outside the school at sunrise, helmet on, energy high, purpose clear. They rode not for medals, but for mission. They rode to raise funds, to create awareness, to stand alongside this school. That is what community looks like. When people say, this matters, I will show up. At Thrivve, we talk about thriving after 50. But thriving is not only about us. It's about legacy. It's about where we place our time, our voice, our influence. Ubuhle Christian School is not just about educating children. It is shaping a generation. And the truth is, we all have the capacity to stand behind something that's building the future. That brings me to a woman behind this vision. The heart, the courage, the quiet persistence. Melanie Prinsloo. Many know her as the founder of Ubuhle Christian School. Others know her as the author of Pilgrimage with the Unseen. And today, we are not just talking about a school. We are talking about faith when the path is invisible. We are talking about obedience before certainty. We are talking about walking when you cannot see the outcome. Let's begin. Okay, Melanie, what motivates you to write the Pilgrimage with the Unseen?
Okay. So, I was a businesswoman in Johannesburg for 15 years in the market research business, and I think the road, the journey how my life changed when God called me to start this home for HIV positive babies, and His faithfulness through the home, providing part of the verses in the book of Isaiah said, I'll give you people for your life. Your children will have peace. I met two ladies while I was planning to start this home. One was a paramedic. Children of HIV are very ill. So that was already a wonderful miracle. How we got a premise really with two houses on it. couldn't really afford what the owner was asking, and we offered him a lot less. He didn't accept it, but we just left it with the Lord, and in the end he changed his mind and sold it to us. So we had this homes for the babies with 2-3 bedroom homes on one premise. A lady came along that resigned her job, and she was the house mother. We didn't have money. Lynn and I, actually, we kept our jobs initially while Nikki resigned. So we were funding the baby home ourselves, and how God brought people across our path to provide money for the children. How people just sort of came, you can almost say, out of the woodwork, but it was really answer to prayer. Some donated cots, some made curtains. So within 6 months we were up and running, and within 6 months we had 12 babies. Many of the babies were very ill. We could pray for them. Some God healed, some he took home with him, but his presence when that happened. So we were running the home, the three of us, and then my best friend's father-in-law worked in our homeland in Kwandebele, and they have a lot of child-headed households there. The parents die of AIDS or AIDS-related diseases, and then the community, because of their belief system in ancestors, believe that the children are now cursed, and they don't want that curse to come on them, so they don't look after the children. The children don't have food to eat. So the Mokani Theological College trains pastors, and the pastors have ladies in their churches that said, let us help these children. So I went initially just to train the ladies how to look after children, especially if HIV is involved. It ended up that I went there once a week and then twice a week, walking the streets, seeing how these children are caring for their sick parents, the children not going to school, looking after the little ones, people in their community that are already helping. There's 80% employment, so people really, they just walk the streets and help others, wash them, try and feed them with the little bit they have. I had a teacher that phoned me to say that she's got a lot of kids living alone, that she's trying to feed. Can I help her? In the end, she ended up working for us, So God did wonderful things in this community. We don't see these things, but I saw 4 little boys actually shooting a dove, taking cow dung, making a fire, cooking a dove, feeding their parent who's bedridden. I saw other boys pushing their dad in a wheelbarrow, just really a bag of bones, to the hospital there. Then the hospital says, we don't have space for you. You're just going to die. Go die at home. This bed is for somebody that's going to be healthy, going to actually get healthy. It is
so sad.
It really broke my heart what I saw there. I thought I couldn't eat. I couldn't even buy clothes for myself, because I was thinking this 400 rand can feed that family for a month.
Yeah.
Buy a bag of maize meal. I actually still have contact with these 3 kids, and their story is in the book that I wrote, and I'll get back to why I wrote the book. But it was a 14-year-old boy, a 12-year-old girl, and then a 7-year-old little girl. Now the little girl was sick all the time, so she couldn't go to school. Their parents had passed away, so they would lock her in the shack. Because it's so not safe. In the African culture, they often believe that raping a virgin can heal you of HIV. So they were scared for these little girls. Then they go to school. They get fed at school. Then they keep half of the food for the little girl at home. So we buy some food for them. Then the lady says to me, no, but how are they going to cook this food now? Because they don't have a fire. They don't. So I had to buy wood and matches, and and I walked the road with this 3 children up till today. I saw them actually last year, and the son, the eldest one, we built a room for them. When somebody wanted to build something, instead of a shack, they had a room. They were dancing around. Oh, our stuff is never going to get wet again. So there's amazing success stories really of what happened to these kids. The land belongs to the king in Kwandebele, so you buy a shell of a house and we turned them into daycare centers where the children come, leave the little ones, go to school, come back, have a meal, help with homework, then make a vegetable garden. Their water was always an issue, so we had this couple from Holland who they call them echo circle gardens. You take a Coke bottle and you put pinpricks at the bottom and you plant the seeds around the bottle. And you just fill up that bottle and slowly it irrigates, and then the vegetables around there.
Okay.
So if you don't have a lot of water. So each center had a garden. We had 100 children per center. So really the journey from the baby houses to me going there once a week and eventually full-time working there with my 6 foster kids.
Yeah.
They were still babies then, small then. And then meeting my husband. He's a farmer in Bronkhorstspruit. So meeting him there, I was not planning on ever getting married. My life was so full with the children, but we just became friends. And then eventually I moved to Bronkhorstspruit when we got married in April 2006. There was a little farm school on his farm that the government started, that little farm school. I was not really involved there because I was working in Makan at the college, and then my kids were going to the school in town. But my children really struggled because HIV and learning difficulties really go hand in hand. So the one is dyslexic, the other one is on the autism spectrum, the other one, 2 of them are struggling with partial deafness, one is psychotic. So I decided when they failed grade 1 and failed grade 1 again, I thought, no, my first calling was to them. And the year that I decided to homeschool the kids, the government closed the farm school. So when the school became available, I thought it's an opportunity to really start a preschool because, if a child does not go to preschool, they're already disadvantaged.
Yeah, that's true.
They go into grade 1 with other kids that have been in preschool, and because they get tied on the back, their vision also gets limited and they're just not stimulated. So I decided, let me start a little preschool, and for my kids, a slow group for slow learner kids. But then there were other parents going, my child can't read, can you help? Local, and she ran the preschool, and I started with this group of slow learners. So that was 2009, and then now we have 100 children in the preschool and 250 children in the school, not all from the farm, because also you can stigmatize a project. We saw that with the baby homes, those kids are from Lombano Sanctuary, And so we just wanted it to be a school. And yes, we have a feeding scheme where we help those orphans and vulnerable kids, and we buy uniforms and stationery. So the book is about really the journey from being a businesswoman to starting a home, to being a mother, which, because I couldn't have children of my own, I didn't think was going to happen, to being exposed to this amazing community of loving Ndebele people in the homeland, and learning the culture and seeing something that I don't see in our culture, that sense of community, that sense of helping one another.
Sense of belonging.
And then being married to a white farmer with my 6 foster children and the sacrifices that he had to make. And as a 50-year-old having to start a school when I had a degree but not the teaching portion, going back to UNISA, studying and seeing what the miracles that God did along the way, and learning really what it means to trust Him every day. Because we think we trust the Lord, but we have a job and the job provides. But when you don't have a job that provides and you can only pray for God to provide, that's when you really see, you get to know Him. God He's got many names, isn't it, in the Bible? So you learn to experience Him as your provider. as your healer for the children, as your protector, you know. So that journey, I wanted to share that journey, and also the stories of the children, because we don't see these things. That's why it's called the pilgrimage of the unseen. Yes, God is unseen, so in one sense it can be God, but we don't see the suffering of the children because we don't expose ourselves to.
Today we were reminded that sometimes the unseen is not emptiness, it's presence. Before we close today, I want to say something from the heart. Ubuhle Christian School is not a project. It's not a campaign. It's not a feel-good story. It's a living, breathing community that runs of faith and faithfulness. The children you saw, the gardens, the meadows, the teachers showing up daily. None of that happens by accident. It happens because ordinary people choose to stand behind something extraordinary. If this episode moves you, if you believe in education changes future, if you ever wondered where your giving could make a real, tangible difference, this is one of those places. You can sponsor a child. You could contribute toward a food security. You can support sports, books, uniforms, or operational costs. And here is what I love most. When you give to Ubuhle, you are not creating dependency. You are strengthening dignity. You are helping building leaders. And perhaps, just perhaps, this is part of your own pilgrimage. The link to support Ubuhle Christian School is in the show notes. And whether you give financially or just share this episode or pray, you are part of the story.